It's actually a very simple principle behind justice reinvestment, and that is you put the money that you spend on what it takes to keep a person in jail for a day, and you apply that what you could do with that money in terms of programs that make communities safer, that give people skills to maybe deal with day-to-day situations so they don't end up in trouble.
The important thing about justice reinvestment though is that it is actually a community-driven approach. So in terms of what programs and what services work, that is to be determined in the community.
It's going to run differently. We're sort of getting the community to work together and look at, what's the total cost of incarceration of people in places like Burke, and if we can reduce it by a percentage, 10%, can we take 10% of the money it costs to incarcerate people and reinvest it back in the community in a way that the community wants it reinvestment, not what government wants.
In the United States has an $80 billion corrections budget. In New South Wales, juvenile justice spends about $120 million on custody. That's more than $60 million is spent on Koori kids in custody. Surely what justice reinvestment talks about is a much better way of using that enormous amount of money.
Governments need to do three things far, far better. One, they need to have partnership. Two, they need to have planning. And three, they need to have evidence and accountability.
The first thing to realise is that what we're facing now is a crisis in terms of incarceration of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. 14, 15 times the rate of non-Indigenous Australians. Aboriginal young people being incarcerated at 28 times the rate of non-Indigenous young people. So this is something that government really needs to do something about in real partnership with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and communities.
The savings, if we call it the savings, we would like that to be reinvested into the appropriate infrastructure and various projects and initiatives that's really required to meet the need of young people. My community's perspective is that we just want our kids back, and we want them actively involved and engaged and participating in full community life.
Having leave there to be able to give me that confidence and tell me, you don't need to be doing that. We have this stuff here for you. You can come to this, don't do that. It kind of just made me realise, I don't need to do it. There's so much more better things I can do than go out there and committing crime and, just getting in trouble with the police and that. If the opportunity was out there for people to be able to go in and do all the programs that I've done, and people would actually go in and just give it a try, and committed to it, I think that then it would work.
Well, I think looking at the wider Australian community, we always say that if you can work out many of the challenges for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, it'll support other disadvantaged and marginalised groups, but more importantly, or just as importantly, it'll support the Australian society, it'll improve the economy and put money into the right areas within the social sector rather than into the prison environment.